Hey, what's up everyone? I'm going to get serious again for this video. It's a serious topic, and there's a personal story involved with this topic. But you can see the Hill reported right here, which a news media outlet usually does not report on real issues, but they did this time. They said apparently crime committed by undocumented immigrants or undocumented aliens is a real issue. No doubt. Let me tell you a personal story. The reason why I'm making this video, a personal story of a family member of mine. This just happened last week, and I actually got a strong feeling, was telling my mama that something bad was going to happen, but I don't know what. It felt like death could be possible. And this feeling that I had was so strong that it bothered me and I was so dark, I felt awful for 2 days. I said within 48 hours something was going to happen, but I don't know who, I don't know where, I don't know when, but within 48 hours. And what happened during that time was my cousin. She was involved in a wreck, in an accident that, had she not made the proper decision and quick decision making, and had she not moved when she did, she would have been killed. And this is how it happened. She was pulling out of the driveway, no one to be seen. There was no one there. And she quickly made a right turn because of what happened. And she got slammed. Her vehicle got slammed extremely hard. And the vehicle just kept on going. They just kept on flying. Their wheel flew off. They only had 3 wheels, and he kept driving, flying down that road. He kept flying down that road on 3 wheels. The neighbor saw it, and he got in his truck, and she said he took off, and he ran them down and stopped them and called the police, and they arrived, and she got hit extremely hard. Her vehicle, basically, they said had she not made the right move, had she not turned when she did, she would have been killed instantly. It would have instantly killed her. So that was obviously the feeling, the strong premonition that I had, most likely. But another thing is that she would have died. She would have been killed instantly by that. And do you know who did it? An entire family of undocumented immigrants were in there. There was this man, there was a woman, and children. But here's the thing. The man was not even related to the family. It wasn't even his family. It wasn't his family. It wasn't his woman or girl or whatever. It wasn't his family. They don't even know who he was in relation to them. He was just driving. And he was drunk as a skunk, as the old saying goes. He was drunk as could be. Who knows, probably high and everything else. They found things in his system. And he was illegal. He did not come here illegally. He had no documentation. None of them had documentation. No one had a license. He didn't have a license. He didn't have an ID. He had no information. And they were not able to find that he had no legal tags. Somehow or other he was driving around all this time. No legal documentation. But that wasn't a problem. That has dwindled quite a lot. You don't see it as often. But that's what was happening a lot more before. And they're trying to start that back again. The other side tried to start that back again. But this is what happened, a personal story regarding an illegal or undocumented immigrant situation. You even see Hispanics rallying for legal immigration. Many of them went through years of process to come here legally, and they're proud citizens of the United States of America. I've talked to a few, I've seen a few, and they've stated things like they're glad to be a citizen. They don't want new ones coming here illegally, ruining it for the rest of us. And they were Mexican individuals. But these individuals that hit head on and would have killed my cousin, they would have killed her, were undocumented. They were illegal. They had no ID, no license, no insurance, no registration, no information. So everyone else out there, the police drive by and are always scanning their tags, always scanning their vehicles, seeing if they're legal. And if your tags are almost due or a day past due, they'll follow you most of the time. They'll run you down or they'll stop you. But some people, if they I was told this at the DMV, or as it is now, I think I don't know, I don't think it's called the DMV now. It's called something a little bit different. But I think it's the driver's testing facility or something like that. Whatever it's called. But the point is, I was told at that location by government workers, officials there, which usually don't talk at all, but that day I was pretty much the only one in there, so they could be more laxed. And I got my ID that day, after going through a long process of getting my birth certificate, finding a copy of, or going to the health department, getting a copy of my birth certificate, giving information and proof of medical history, going up to the doctor's office that I used to go to and getting my medical history and medical documentation, telling them my address, and then I went in there and they finally added my address in there. It would have been null and void and pointless if I hadn't given them my address. And then I had to show you have to show a billing paper of billing, or a bill that has come to your residence, like a doctor's bill proving that you have gotten a bill at this residence. And then I had to go up there and have them print out these forms, which they still charged us an outrageous price for. But then we went out back to the health department, showed all of that, and got that done. Then I had to go to the Social Security office and use this touch screen, then go to the kiosk, and then go to the woman or the girl that was behind this counter when I was called. And they said, Social Security number found, and I had to go in there and hand them all these papers. They said, oh, this is plenty. They finally looked at it and asked me the information to verify it, and then they said they'll send me a Social Security card. They sent it about 2 weeks later. I got it in the mail. Then I was able to take all that information and all those papers and all those documents, go to the DMV, which I call it the Department of DMV. That's what they call it. That's what they used to call it. I went out there, waited, and then gave all of those papers, and then signed a form, signed a bunch of papers, signed in at this kiosk, and then gave all this information, and then they printed a paper form. I waited a few minutes. I was in, which usually takes hours, but this time it was a few minutes, thank goodness. And I still remembered it was on March 4th this year, and before this whole pandemic happened, pandemic situation. But I went in there. They looked at all my information. Then I signed these papers, took a picture of the photo ID. It was completed. Had the temporary copy, and within 2 weeks, I received the other one in the mail. And that's what I had to go through on that. A lot more than it used to be. So that's what I went through when I was, and I'm a legal citizen. I mean, I was born in America, obviously. I'm an American born in the state of Tennessee, but I still, that's what I had to go through. But this person had no license, no registration, no ID, even no insurance, nothing. And yet he was driving, flying down that road, almost killed my cousin. Had she not made a quick move, she still was involved in a wreck. He rear-ended her because she turned just right to avoid a fatal collision. And then his wheel flew off. Part of his vehicle was flying off, but yet he just kept flying on down that road. The neighbor ran him down. Then the police got involved in the situation. He's got a court hearing, but he got off scot-free. He gets his vehicle back, and she said, "That's what's not fair." She said, "That is not fair." She said, "I have to work, pay for my insurance, I have to get a license, an ID." She said, "I have to go through all of this and get all this documentation, and yet they can just drive around scot-free for years." And that's what they're trying to stop, and people don't see that. You can't let another group of people get by scot-free with everything while others who try to do the right thing are just basically ostracized, and they have to suffer. We have to suffer. But that's what happened. That's what happened. I just thought I would share the story. And I think they got their vehicle back. Instead of it being impounded and all of that, like anyone else would have been, instead of going through the process, yeah, there's still a court hearing, but they're still scot-free. Anyone else would have been just completely... Imagine if we were involved in a wreck, in a crash that was almost fatal, could have been fatal, rear-ending someone, it wouldn't have been rear-ended had she not made a quick decision and turn when she did. She would have been hit head-on in the door and died. For all that person knows, she could have died, and they just kept on going. And he was with some group of people that wasn't even his family. Her husband was somewhere else, apparently, I guess. And she and the family were with some man that was driving them around, flying down the road, drunk and probably high as a kite. But he was definitely drunk. As the old saying goes, drunk as a skunk, drunk as could be. So yeah, that's a story, a personal story regarding undocumented or illegal immigration. So I thought I'd share that. I thought I would share it. That's what happened. And you do see a lot of crime committed. It's not like some kind of they try to pin you as racist or prejudice, or they try to pin you as some kind of a ostracized individual from society when you do this. I love everyone, and I treat everyone equally. I treat everyone kindly and equally. But it is a real issue that does need to be addressed, and did need to be addressed, and taken care of, and fixed. Just thought I'd share this. Thank goodness she's okay. Thank goodness she made it fine. She made it out okay. But it's frustrating that this situation, this kind of thing, it happens all the time. We've witnessed it all the time. We've personally even been involved in situations in the past where they were all illegal, or they were undocumented. They had no documentations, no license, no ID, no insurance, no registration, nothing. And it's happened to many people. But this is a personal story. Peace. Signing out. I had to share this story. We have real issues that need to be addressed. Healthcare is one of them. One of the main issues that need addressing in this nation. The health care and well-being of every citizen. Peace. Signing out.